Hey guys, what's going on? Today I built a AI agent in n8n that can build another AI agent or agents, okay? And it can also build different automations and workflows for you using basic prompt like you would be chatting with ChatGPT, for example, okay? So here I asked, for example, to create a AI agent that has access to a Gmail and Google Calendar, and also I should be able to chat with the AI agent to make changes to my calendar or to reply to emails, and essentially my personal assistant for my calendar and for my Gmail, okay? And all of this was essentially processed by AI agent here, guys. So here I have a n8n developer agent, and here I have a Q&A agent, which essentially double checks everything if everything was followed based on the best practices and the data I added for it to be learning from, okay, as a knowledge base. And guys, I'll discuss each node later on. I'm just giving you a quick demo, guys, okay? And once all of that was done, we essentially are getting this workflow right here, guys, and it's gonna give you a nice link that you're gonna click on, and you're gonna get your workflow just like that open in n8n, guys. Super awesome. And here it is, guys. So here we have a chat interface, guys, and let me remind you, guys, all of this was created by AI agent right here, guys. Okay, so all of this was done by AI agent, guys. So chat interface AI agent, exactly what we asked. Okay, we have AI model. Okay, then we are routing actions based on the condition. Okay, is it a send email? Okay, is it reply to email or create calendar event in my Google Calendar? That's exactly what we asked ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, and an agent in here, guys. Okay, and then we are handling errors, if any. Okay, again, we didn't mention that, but again, I'm adding all of that within the n8n agent developer node right here, guys. I'm going to show you the knowledge base and the data I'm using to train the agent. Okay, and it's also adding a telegram to notify me that there was an error, which is pretty awesome, guys. And all of this was created by AI agent. Okay, here you're going to just add your credentials for your ChatGPT. Okay, you're gonna add credentials for your Gmail, guys, and it's essentially ready to go just like that out of the box. And it's really cool to build MVPs for workflows and really test drive different workflows and ideas. And as a beginner, for you to actually learn how things are interconnected between each other and how they work. Okay, guys. So if that's pretty cool, this entire thing will be available as a free JSON template, guys. So don't forget to download it. There will be a link below the video. Okay, you grab that link and download the JSON template, and it's ready to go to be imported into your n8n, guys. All right. And you will get all of these beginner-friendly notes that I left for you guys. Okay, so it's pretty extensive. It's a pretty big note, but I wanted to make sure that you understand how it works and what each of these nodes does. Okay, the key features and etc., guys. And even as a bonus, I'm including a test prompts that you can copy paste and start testing right away and kind of experiencing the AI agent experience for yourself right away, guys. All right. So now let's discuss actually how these work and how I'm training my AI agents to build these workflows, guys. Okay. So let's start with the basics. Okay. If you're a complete beginner, guys, make sure to watch this video until the end, guys, because you're going to learn quite a bit. All right. So the first one, we got a chat node. Essentially, that's how we're handling conversation with our AI agent, asking AI agent to build something for us. Okay, so it's pretty simple. When chat message is received, okay, it's a chat tab right here, guys. So that's how we're communicating with the AI agent and with the workflow. Okay, then we are essentially going to a n8n documentation. This essentially is a first step in training our AI model. Okay, so if I open the doc, guys, essentially we are telling AI agent, well, it's sort of way of pre-prompting. Okay, so this data will be taken and then sent to the AI agent node. Okay, and here we're saying read the user's request carefully, break it down, requirements, and etc., guys. And here we are, I believe I'm providing two example JSON template workflows, so you kind of understand the structure, how to structure the templates in JSON format correctly and stuff like that. Because if you don't do any of this, you're going to get nodes that are essentially empty. Okay, so it's important to train the agent so it understands what are nodes, how they work, and how they connect between each other, guys. Okay, so that's essentially a training point number one. Okay, and that is connected to a Google Docs. Okay, so here I'm connecting my Google Drive account, and in my Google Drive account I have a Google Doc, and essentially that's how it works. Then we are extracting documents, okay? So we are essentially converting that into a data, okay, into raw data. And then we're sending that raw data to n8n developer agent node, okay? So this is a pretty fun one. Let me tell you what it does, okay? So here we have the main developer agent node, okay? And I'm sure you guys worked with this one before, or you've seen the agent node. I think that's like the most popular node in the n8n in general, guys. So it's working very similar to like any other AI models. Here you have a user message, aka the request from you, okay, or what you're requesting for AI agent to do. And then we have essentially a system message, okay? So system message is a sort of you are defining the character and the behavior of AI model, okay? So these are two different, okay, if you ask why we have two of them. So this is prompt, the user message, aka like what you are sending as a prompt or as a message from the chat input for Telegram to your agent. Okay, so this is essentially the user data, and system message is essentially a definition of how the AI agent or model should behave at all times, and it's always going to go through this and it's going to try to follow these rules at all times. Okay, so that's kind of difference. So user message is your prompt, and system message is essentially a defining the character and behavior of the AI model, okay? So I'm not going to be going through the entire prompt because it's pretty extensive. When you're going to download the JSON template, you're going to have all this already in there, guys, so you can go line by line and really learn and understand how it works. But again, we have overview, capabilities, the process, and user request, okay? Because we also need to include the user request within the prompt as a variable, okay, or variable or expression, whatever makes sense for you. Okay, so when you see these curly brackets, these are expressions or variables, meaning that we are inserting a dynamic data from another node. Okay, then we have a strategy. Okay, how we want the template to be constructed. Okay, naming patterns. Then I'm giving some examples of what kind of a nodes we have, so it has an idea. Okay, otherwise it's going to create empty nodes that have no meaning or do nothing. So you need to give some breakdown about what are n8 nodes and give some examples. And also we are essentially adding n8n documentation. If you guys remember the Google Doc, okay, so it's also a variable. It's a expression because the data is flowing from another node into the AI agent, okay? Then we're defining a process. And also we're saying we can use a GitHub templates tool, guys, which is a pretty awesome tool. Let me show you what it is, guys. Okay, so I'm using a GitHub API to access GitHub repository with, I think here's around like 100 or 200 different n8n workflows in a JSON format as well, guys. So all of these are broken down into a category, Airtable, databases, discard, and stuff like that. So all of these are workflow JSON templates, and I'm giving access to GitHub's API to AI agent to essentially look at it as an example and reference for the best practices and etc. Okay, guys, and the way it works, it's pretty simple. So it works based on a HTTP request node. Okay, so I'm using HTTP node. I just renamed it to GitHub n8n templates, and here I'm saying use this tool to research n8n templates via GitHub repository API for complex builds and examples. Okay, it's a GET request. Okay, basics of API. We're getting something from somewhere, so we're using a GET method. And here is a URL, guys. So if I open this URL, okay, essentially it's giving a structure of the GitHub repo. Okay, and now n8n agent can use the basic OpenAI's web scraping capabilities to extract the data from there, okay, and actually see the templates, guys, okay, because when it goes and scrapes the data, OpenAI scrapes data very similar like we do, so it's going to go here, literally like this. It's going to click here, it's going to open this, and then it's going to open the JSON template like this. It's literally just with the clicks, and then it's going to read this entire data, okay? It's going to parse it as like basic raw HTML data, whatever, but it's still going to have access to all of this, okay? So now it's training based on a bunch of templates from GitHub repo, guys, on top of the Google Doc, guys, which is pretty awesome, okay? And then essentially we're using the GPT 4.0 model. I'm using 4.0 model because it's a bit more creative, okay? You can use the mini models, but I find they don't perform as good, okay? Because they're optimized for speed and performance, and by doing that, you're cutting corners for creativity and really something that is required when you're doing complex work with the code in general, guys. So I do suggest 4.0. It's a bit more expensive, but again, you're working just with data, so it won't be that expensive, right? So then we have a simple memory, essentially a context. So we're giving a AI model 5 context windows. So 5 previous chats with the user. So they're gonna have access to all of the 5 previous chats I had with the AI agent. Okay, just for the context. Then we are essentially validating the data with JavaScript. Okay. Okay, and what it essentially does, this JS code snippet is essentially validating if it's containing n8n workflow JSON data or it's just a conversational text, okay? Because I don't want to process a basic conversational text from the prompt, okay? I want to make sure that I'm cleaning up the data, and once we get the input from the AI agent, because it also is going to, like, usually by default, ChatGPT, whatever, OpenAI will be adding some extra instructions and like extra text. Okay, so we're making sure that we only are getting the workflow JSON data. So think of this as a sort of a cleanup tool. Okay, and we're doing that to JS. So we're gonna only take the cleaned JSON format here, guys. So if you look on the right side, we are essentially cleaning we are converting this into a clean JSON format. So here you can see we have named AI-powered Gmail and calendar assistant with AI models, and here we have nodes. So essentially extracting only the clean JSON data. So here you can see we have extracted a documentation, Google n8n docs, guys. So without that, all of this will be passed to the next node. But it's something I don't need, guys. Okay, I only want already cleaned up and parsed n8n workflow JSON data. That's only thing I need, and that's what essentially this JS code right here does. Okay, and once that is done, we're doing something pretty cool. We are sending it to a best practices Q&A agent. So think of it as a Q&A agent. If you guys ever worked in a software development, we have the developer, and once the developer has finished doing its thing, building the features and shipping it, okay, first it's going to be shipped to a Q&A not data analyst. It's going to be shipped to Q&A developer. And essentially, it's a developer that is going to review the code and make sure it meets the quality standards, the code standards, and it's following the best practices overall. And that's essentially what this AI agent right here does, guys, okay? So this is the prompt we are providing to a QA agent. Again, I'm not going to go through it, guys. You're going to download the entire JSON template, and you can go through the entire thing, guys. So the only small change I'm doing with this Q&A agent is that instead of, if there's something wrong with the code, I'm not going to send it back to the developer n8n agent, because that would be the real world case scenario. Okay, if there's something wrong, the Q&A team will send back the code and the developer will redo it or fix it. But in this case, the Q&A is acting as a Q&A and also as a developer. So if it finds something wrong with the code, it's gonna itself fix it and adjust it. Okay, so that's just kind of just save the time and also the tokens, guys. So it's gonna be essentially fixed by the Q&A, and then it's gonna be sent to process Q&A response. Okay, we are doing some cleanup using JS code right here. And essentially, it kind of does very similar thing to this right here, to the smart validator. So because once it's once it's fixed by Q&A agent, again, it's going to be processed by OpenAI, okay, and it might be adding some extra things in there, like text and stuff like that. So we are essentially making sure that we are only taking the data that we want, okay? We are taking the cleaned JSON structure again here, guys, okay? Extracting that, then we are validating if there are any errors, okay? If there are any errors, we're going to send it to validation error response. If there's error, we're sending here. Then it's going to validate what is the error, and then it's going to tell us what is the exact error, and it's going to output that in here, guys, in the chat box, okay? So it's going to tell you exactly what is the problem, and also if there's any problems with the API, same thing, guys, it's going to send to the API error response, and you're going to see the log in here, guys. And once everything is good, essentially it's going to be sent to create workflow, and this node is responsible for actually creating the workflow and formatting everything in this nice format right here with the links and stuff like that, guys. Okay, and to create the workflow with the link, guys, essentially you need to use your n8n APIs. Here I deleted mine, but essentially this is going to be the format. When you download the JSON template, you're going to see everything, and the value box will be empty because you need to input your API key in there, guys. And you can get the API key, I believe, from n8n settings tab. Okay, actually, let me go and see if I can show that right away. Okay, so essentially you're gonna go to settings, and then you're gonna go to n8n API, and here you're gonna create a API key for your n8n, guys. Okay, and once you do that, you're gonna go back to the flow and copy paste the value in here, guys, and make sure this is untouched. Okay, because this is a format that n8n is using for APIs. And yeah, guys, and that's gonna be essentially it. And then we have a success response. Okay, and here we actually this is node where we're formatting everything. So this is the node that is responsible essentially to format everything in the output format right here, guys. As you can see, we have this really nicely formatted output, okay, where workflow successfully created, gives you the link, the details, quality check, improvements, stuff like that, guys. So this doesn't come by default. This is all custom made, guys, and we are doing this in the success response right here, guys, okay? And again, when you download the JSON template, you have all of this. You can recycle it and reuse it for your other workflows as well, if you're working, for example, with chat inputs and stuff like that, guys. Okay, but in a summary, that's essentially how it is. Okay, the only thing I want to note, guys, if you're a beginner and if you really are on a budget, if you're going to be generating a lot of workflows through this AI agent, it's going to cost you a bit of tokens, guys. So as you can see, this cost me in total 117,000 tokens, so essentially 118,000 tokens, guys. So if you're a beginner and if you're putting maybe like a couple of dollars on your OpenAI API keys, you're gonna eat them very, very fast, guys. Just to show you an example how much this is costing approximately, let me just show you a calculator for this. So this is a really cool tool. It's called GPT for Work, and essentially it's a calculator where you can calculate how much essentially how much, what would be the estimate for you, okay, for this tokens, guys. Okay, you can also see that you can also see the price breakdown in your OpenAI API dashboard, but just really for a quick calculation and understanding the token costs, this tool is pretty cool and easy to use, guys. So we're using 4.0 model. So it's costing essentially $2.50 per million tokens. So we are using the output token is at, let me see, guys, where is it? So we are using 117,000. Let me bring it in here, guys. And let me see. Okay, so that is okay, it kind of combined both of them. This one is 116. This one, hold on, let me go back. So 1584. Okay, 84, and that one was something like 115. Okay, let's see. We'll do like 116. We'll just kind of round it up a little bit. Okay, and essentially this is costing us. The only thing we need to change the number of API calls. Okay, because with it, I think with the 2 API calls, we have 2 AI agents in there. Okay, so 2 API calls. So we essentially paid for this 24 cents. Okay, I know it doesn't sound a lot, but again, in the world of APIs and all the AI models, it is fairly expensive considering it's 2 API calls, guys. Okay, guys, honestly, it's not like insanely expensive, but again, on a bigger picture, if you're doing this constantly and you're just like generating template after template, okay, you're gonna run out of your API credits fairly fast if you're putting something like $5 or $10 on it, guys. So just be mindful about this, and kind of you can use this tool as a reference if you want to, guys, or just keep an eye on your OpenAI API dashboard, or I believe you can set notifications when you are reaching a certain threshold for a billing. Okay, you can get an email saying, hey, you almost reached like $20. Okay, so it's just a good idea, guys, especially as a beginner, so you don't have a shocker that you exceeded all your API tokens super fast, guys. Okay, but other than that, guys, that's what it does, and that's how it works, guys. Okay, and you can essentially download the starting for free, guys. Again, just a reminder, free JSON template link is below the video. Okay, go grab that, check it out, play around with this flow right here, guys. Okay, and let me know if you got into any issues, importing or maybe using it in any way, guys. If you got into any problems, guys, let me know in the comments, guys, and I'm gonna help you out to troubleshoot that, guys. And if you do enjoy the content and if you want me to drop content like this all the time, like and subscribe, okay, so I can deliver this value-packed content for free, guys. And always, I will be including JSON templates for you guys, for my beginners out there, guys, so you can learn and really understand n8n flow without frustrations. All right, guys. Yeah, guys, and that's it. And as always, I'm gonna see you next time. All right.